Hello, my name is Alex Navarro, and I'm the pianist for the Houston Jazz Orchestra. I also conduct shows for Theater Under the Stars and travel with a few different artists. Two, three, four. Two, three, four. Okay, so let's talk about piano Etude number 1. It's a medium swing, bebop type exercise. First thing is I would have a plan of attack with what fingers you're going to use for these lines, because some of these don't fall naturally on the piano. If you see mine, if you can't see mine, it's littered with a bunch of fingering notes, where I switch, important notes with what fingers to use. And then there are a couple of spots where I used maybe some unconventional fingerings, but I'm sure it's a trick that a bunch of pianists use. For example, measure 6 going into measure 7, that D flat, I'm playing with my 5th finger, but then I just slide down that same 5th finger to the C. It kind of helps smooth out that phrase. I do a similar thing, measure 10 going into measure 11. Okay, just sliding the middle finger from A flat to G. The solo section at 17. My take on soloing in jazz is taking whatever thematic element or motif that's given in the piece and expanding on that. So the downbeat of 17, we have these 2 8th note hits, ba-da, and then I just start my solo off of that, displacing those 2 8th notes in different parts of the bar. And then until about the A flat 13, then I start playing lines. And make sure you're catching the extensions that they specify. So A13 flat 9, that's an A natural. The C13 flat 9, make sure you're catching that D flat. And then that A7 alt, it's a big break there on the track if you listen, and so I threw in, well, I play like an A augmented triad, I think, and I just did a glissando to just accent that break. And then at the very end, we end with a G13 sharp 11, which they voiced as an A major triad with a G dominant on the bass in the left hand. So what I did, which is typical whether you're playing in a big band or in a small group, where on the last chord that's held out, sometimes it's just kind of like garbage can time where everybody just throws something in. So I ended up doing an A major arpeggio, I think like 3 octaves or so. So that's kind of a nice little accent, and then I threw in a bass G there. So those are my pointers, tips for Piano Etude number 1.